good to see you here today. Tough defeat on Saturday. We didn't play well. We didn't coach well. Not very much energy. Just a bad day overall. Worst game we've played all season from start to finish. Very disappointed in the outcome. With that being said, you got to tip your hat to Southeast Missouri. They played a good game. I mentioned it early in the week. It was a game that concerned me a great deal just because of the way they matched up against us. And, when you look back in the 4 years I've been here, we're 2-2 against those guys, and every one of those games have come down to the very end. And there's teams like that just match up really well with you. And as we all know, you especially going on the road is very difficult. I mean, if you look around college football this weekend, there was a ton of upsets, so-called upsets, and you better be ready to play your best each and every week. And we did not play the very best that we could play, and a lot of that had to do with way Southeast Missouri. I'm not taking anything from those guys. I thought they played an outstanding game, deserved the victory. And our goal now is to move forward and regroup and have a better week this week.
After watching film, what are one or two things that really stand out to you as those big bugaboos?
Well, I needed a trash can beside me. It made me sick watching some of those things. But, I think, first of all, we missed some assignments on defense and missed some tackles over there that really hurt us. Offensively, we made some bad decisions with the football. We dropped some passes that could have been the difference in the game. We played some undisciplined ball. We had some crucial penalties early in the game that hurt us. We had a personal foul. We had a holding penalty that stopped a drive. The same thing that I've talked about with our team for 7 solid weeks finally came back to bite us in the backside. And, I don't have a drill to go out there and not be penalized. It's things that you have to play with under more control during the game. And then again, at the end of the game, I made a bad decision. I'll be the first one to admit it. You get down there at the end, we made an interception. Wish I'd go back and do it. We were moving the ball, had it in field goal range, and smart play is play percentages, milk the clock, kick the field goal, and you're up by 10. And then a lot of those chain of events that took place, the ensuing drive they had for a touchdown. We drop a ball in the 2-minute drill that puts us back in scoring position. The turnover in overtime, the deep ball we gave up in the corner of the end zone. All those things don't happen. So, again, I made a mistake. It was a bad call. It came back to bite us. And, I sat up Saturday night. I sat up last night. I sat up this morning trying to justify why it was a good call, and I couldn't come up with a reason why. Now, if it had worked, it would have been a moot point. Nobody would have ever said anything. But it was just it was a bad decision that I made. But that does it not over. That's the number one thing, and we'll talk about that as a team. But there was too many things we did leading up to that point and after that point that you can't do if you're going to be a good football team. So our goal is to learn. Maybe this is the wake-up call that we needed, because we've been living on the edge with this all season, and learn from it and move on. And, you hopefully you look back at the end of the year and say, man, that's the best thing that ever happened to you. Because it finally hit you home, and you still have the meat of your schedule remaining, that you can go accomplish some good things. So one game doesn't make or break you. Dale Earnhardt one time said, don't let one bad thing spoil a bunch of good things, and we've done a bunch of good things. So we're not going to let that spoil our season. We're going to move forward and have a good week of practice and be ready to play on Saturday.
After working so hard to get these guys to have confidence and buy into your system, do you think this will also be a setback, or do you think it'll be hard to get them back to that point?
Well, I hope not. I would doubt it. This is a new week. I mean, I don't look at it as that you have a win streak going or all that. Every week's a different game. Every week brings its new challenges, and this is just a different week. I mean, once we finish watching the film today, or really starting today at 3:00, I mean, we're focused on what we got to do this week. I mean, we watched the previous game, but when we watch it, we just watch the points that are going to be beneficial for Austin Peay. We don't watch something that we're not going to need this week in order to be good. So, again, I mean, it's one game that we played poorly in. You look at the deal. Should we have beaten Jacksonville State? I don't know. Should we have beaten SEMO? I thought we should have. So, it always balances out at the end of the deal. And again, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed that the outcome of the game. But, it's ball. There's 12 games on the schedule, and you have to be a good football team, you have to make sure that you don't let the previous game influence the next game in a negative way. You hope it influences it in a positive way.
You talk a little about Austin Peay, what you've seen on film.
Well, again, playing a team that hadn't had much success this year, okay? And, one thing they've had to battle some injuries. They played a brutal schedule. I mean, they opened up with Tennessee and Vanderbilt right off the get-go and, play Ohio and play Chattanooga. Those are some pretty good ball clubs. 3 Division 1A, and Chattanooga's good. They come out of the Southern Conference. So they played tough ball. The one thing that I noticed is that, you got a new head coach. They are playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, for a team that hadn't won many games, they're playing with a lot of confidence. And they're going to spread you out, and we got to do a good job of playing our coverages. We had 2 blown coverages the other day that really hurt us. And then offensively, we just have to have more consistent play all the way across the board. I mean, we really did not play very well offensively the other night. Now, we made some good plays, but we did not play very well, and that's something that's plagued us all season long.
Do you think the game they had against Eastern Illinois says more about them or more about Eastern Illinois?
Say that again.
Austin Peay's game against Eastern Illinois?
Um,
Does that say more about how good Eastern Illinois is, or?
Well, I mean, that's a kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? Well, I mean, Eastern Illinois is ranked in the top 5, and they beat San Diego State, and we know Eastern Illinois is pretty good. The only defeat they've had is Northern Illinois, who's in the top 25 and won in the FBS, and they kind of got the, depending on. We had the OVC officials; they may have won that game. I'm serious. I mean, because I say that as a compliment. I thought they had some bad calls go their way at the end. Eastern Illinois is Eastern Illinois, and the thing about them is if they get up on you, they can embarrass you in a hurry. I don't really know how to answer that question. I think Eastern Illinois is a different animal there, Will, when you discuss the success that they've had.
When you look at Austin Peay on paper, their offensive line is really big. Do you see that translating on the film you watch with a good-sized offensive line? Are they able to do some good things with that?
Talking about Austin Peay? Okay, because Will's talking about Eastern Illinois, and we're playing Austin Peay this week. You got me confused over there. Yeah, they are, and they do a good job, and again, you got to be ready each week, and that's the reason I talk about it all the time. We worry about ourselves. And I take that to heart. I mean, I don't ever talk about the other team because I can control what we do, and I think that's what disappoints me. It wasn't what Southeast Missouri did against us. It's not going to be what Austin Peay does against us. It's going to be, are we going to do what we're coached to do? Are we going to play with great energy and great excitement? And I think that's the thing that disappointed me the most last week. Is our energy level was down. They were more excited to play. Effort, we had good effort. Don't get me right. We played hard. And then what happened is you get late in the game, and all of a sudden you try to amp that energy level up, and it's too late. And it's too late to make that happen. So, again, we're going to have to do a good job of stopping the run because they are big, and that's a Achilles heel of us up front of stopping the run. And then, again, offensively, we've just relied so much on the big play this year. And the other night, we didn't get very many big plays. They made us work it down the field. And then, of course, that created 3 turnovers in the ball game, all down there pretty close to scoring. And we're not good enough to do that. So those are things that we'll work on this week as we prepare for Austin Peay.
Talk a little bit about having the homecoming game, a big crowd, maybe help with the energy a little bit just in the stadium, really.
Yeah, well, that's big now. Playing at home in front of a good crowd, you can't underestimate that. That's crucial. You get to Southeast Missouri, not a whole lot of people there, and then they end up having a nice crowd. But it's rainy, you're in a lightning delay, you're sitting in an old cramped up locker room more than you normally would. You go out, it's overcast. All that stuff affects you. You think about when you go outside in the morning, and if it's a sunny, pretty day, your attitude as compared to when it's a cloudy, rainy day. We're talking 18 to 22-year-old students that it affects you. So having a big crowd, tent city, a lot of former players here, all that's big. And I told the staff this morning, homecoming's big wherever you go. It's a time for former players to give them back, students. It's big, but here it's more special than any place I've ever been, just because of tent city. To see the old players come back, all the different things that go on with the week. It's a very special, and it's a great event. I say it every year that I wish we had tent city every week, out there, and I think it's just a great atmosphere, and we're looking forward to getting back into that. And then, of course, after that, the off week comes around, and it can't get here quick enough. Just because, we played a lot of tough ball games, and it's starting to take its toll on us.
Any updates on some of the injuries that we've seen from some of the guys?
Well, we're still, we're just real sore and real tired. You figure this would be our 8th game in a row, not counting camp. And then I think we play Eastern Illinois 2 weeks after the break there, Will. So we'll let's see, Io, he'll still be out. Mason will be out. We'll know more about his injury later on in this week. It could possibly be season ending, but we're not sure yet. This is kind of, it'd be a while before he came back. As of right now, those are the only 2 that are out. Now we're hoping that Chavez played a little bit in the game, but not much. Still nursing an ankle. Skinner, we need to get him back. We're really thin out at the secondary without him. He did not. He's hopefully this week he'll be back. Brady, we'll know probably tomorrow whether he can play or not. He came out with a foot injury or late in the ball game after a nice run. We're just, it's that time of year. But fortunately for us that, almost everybody will be back. It's just when they will be back, excluding Mason, because we're just not real sure yet what the diagnosis is going to be, if we're going to be able to rehab him and get him back for the rest of the season.
What was Skinner's injury?
He just had an ankle. He's been hurt a couple weeks, so. And then a lot of hurt feelings, including mine. You got any medicine for that, Ricky? Okay.
Good for you overall.
That's the best medicine you can have. I tell you, it's when you hadn't had much success, for an extended period of time, with those wins, you forget how good they feel. And when I first started coaching, my teams had so much success. We were winning every week, and you discount that feeling. It just becomes, after you win so many, it becomes more of a relief each weekend. Whew, we kept the win streak alive. It's at 30 now, and whatnot, and you get that feeling, and then we hadn't had that much success, so you had a couple big wins, and then all of a sudden you get tanked like SEMO, and then you you forget how good those wins feel. So that's what we're looking for Saturday. Will big homecoming win cures all ills, and that's what we're looking for headed into that off week.
Starting the conference season 2-0, do you guys have a lot of confidence going into SEMO, even knowing that their game plan was a little different than some of the stuff you faced this season?
Yes, that 2-0 start definitely gave us a lot of confidence going in, and like I said, we got to give credit to this SEMO. They played a real good game and made the plays when their numbers was called. But like I said, it was a tough loss. We planning on the next game, and we're trying to forget about that. Like I said, we have a long season to go.
As a leader on this team, how do you rally your team this week to go forward? Because you still have some goals intact right now.
Yeah, just tell them forget that. We still got a long season to go, and just keep a straight mind. Just keep on listening to the game plan. Listen to what the coaches put in every week, and just follow the game plan, and we'll be all right.
Is it easier to say to forget it than to actually forget it?
I feel like it would. When you got no choice, we can't dwell on the past, and we just got to go forward. That's the only way we're gonna keep on getting closer to our goals, our ultimate goal. And like I said, we just have to forget it as a team, and we're definitely gonna see that coming this week, and our demeanor and everything, and how we practice and everything.
What do you expect Saturday with Austin P coming here for homecoming? What are your expectations for Saturday from your football team?
Well, I expect us to come out like real fired up. It's homecoming. Everybody gonna be excited. Should be a lot of fans out here supporting us, and we just gotta start off fast and quick. And definitely win all phases of the game, special teams and everything, and just start off fast. Get a good lead in the start, and just never look back from there. And that's what we just gotta do: jump on top of them early, and just never let go of the gas pedal.
How do you see defenses are preparing for you and Dwayne's game this season? It seems like every game you're just waiting to just break out for a big run. What are defenses doing to limit you guys to some modest wins?
I just feel like they try to do a little bit different than how they played us before, just so we can get a real good scouting report on them. But as an offense, we just trying to stay balanced too, so they can never know what we're doing. We try to mix it up with a lot of running, different passes, and so they could just be on their toes and never gonna estimate and guess what we're gonna do.
As a running back, is there a chip on your shoulder knowing that your quarterback is averaging more yards than you?
No, not really. I'm just going with the game plan. When my number's called, just make the play, and that's what I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for that breakout game, and I'm just doing everything the coaches tell us, and just following the game plan, follow my reads, and it'll come from there.
Have you been able to give Mikhail any rushing tips?
As far as just on the reads and things, just help him out because he kind of new to this offense, and I'm another guy, and Brady been here for 4 years, so he could kind of lean on us to know the offense and things. Like I said, he's pretty new, so he kind of asks us a little things since we know the offense a lot more.
Just looking forward, can you expand just upon, you guys want to win and have a conference title so bad. What do you think the biggest thing is that you guys have to do going forward to make sure this happens?
Like I said, we just gotta listen to what the coaches been teaching us, and they know more, and they won't put us in a bad position. And like I said, we just gotta listen to them. Can't make mental mistakes. That's a lot of things that's been hurting us in the past. Just these mental mistakes and non-rushing penalties that comes back to hurt us in crucial situations. But like I said, we're gonna see how we're gonna respond by we practicing everything this week. And yeah, that was a tough loss. Give credit to SEMO. They played good, and we just got to move forward and forget that game.